I wanted to first say thank you. You guys could be taking a nap. You could be getting drinks. You could be doing a lot of things. But you chose to come here. And hopefully this is the group we end up with. I'm sure people will be coming in and out. But first of all, I want to know if anybody knows who Dale Carnegie is. You guys know him. Okay, he's one of my favorite authors. Okay? And he said that most people who attend a talk or speech, whatever you want to call it, don't remember anything you say. The only thing you guys are supposed to remember is the shoes I had on or if my tie is crooked. Well, I don't have to worry about the tie, and the shoes are about a half-inch black pump, so get over it. Okay, now, hopefully you stay with me, and we'll enjoy the next 15, 16, however many minutes we take. So first of all, I just need to give you a little bit of background on who Mitel is and where we were, and why this was such a big deal, how I won some awards and got some attention because of the huge progress that we've made. So Mitel, some of you have said, who's Mitel? Well, we make a lot of phones. We're actually a $1.2 billion company. So a little bit respectable than some of the startups I was out in the Bay Area. So $1.2 billion phone and telecommunications company, 41 years old. Now what you might not know was originally Mitel was supposed to sell lawnmowers, but when you're in Canada and you get your lawnmower shipment in the middle of winter, it's not going to go so good for you. So what they decided to do was go into telecom. But there's a lot of things they didn't have. Never had a reference program. They said everything was 100% partner-driven, so why would we ever engage with customers? And to my, when I got in there, I was like, 20% of our customers are direct. What the hell are you talking about? We do have all these customers and relationships. So something that we went through in the last year, I was so privileged to work for a Chief Marketing Officer, Martin Etherington. It's a friend of Jill's. And he's brilliant, and he got it. He said, outside first, customers first, let's change this place around. So by the time I got there, he had already knocked down a lot of walls for me and a lot of doors. So I was able to do some cool things. So where else were we? We were a 41-year-old company in desperate need of the brand. They had the same logo for 41 years. And if any of you have ever heard of Nobel, which is a company I was at, we went through logos every 6 months or so. It's like, how can we rearrange the balls that are shaped like an N? It's like over and over. So here I am at Mitel. It's a true story, though, if you look it up. Okay, so here I was at Mitel, 41 years old, 4 acquisitions in the last year. That's a lot. We actually doubled our company size with just one of the acquisitions. So we had quite a bit of acquisitions, us, them, this department, cloud team, direct team, a lot of us and them. Also a morale problem. There was a big morale problem. There were a lot because I was at a competitor, ShoreTel, before, so I knew a lot about Mitel before I even got there. There were people who'd been acquired 6 years ago who were still like, we don't get this, we didn't get this. And they still come in my office today and complain about it, which I'm like, get over it. You can tell I'm that kind of person. Get over it. So here we had the problem. We needed to reset our brand. We needed to do something. And so what we decided to do was to look at some advocacy hubs. I was brought in for a couple things. One is to grow revenue. So that's my reference program. I do a lot of sales tool. I do customer success examples. I do a lot of resources for sales. They love me. They worship me. They treat me like a queen. It feels really good. So that was one of the things. The second thing was improve the company perception. All people knew about Mitel was we're a 41-year-old company that was going to sell lawnmowers. That's not really a lot of good public perception, right, about your company. So I was brought in to do that. I made up my own job, by the way, my own title, which I highly recommend to all of you. And then another thing was to improve employee engagement. And I'll kind of talk through some of that, how I really realized we had a problem and I could help change it. And then I added the last one, of course, when we did include it, advocacy marketing. So that's the 4th part of my role now. So last January, I started something called Customer Success Friday. And for Customer Success Friday, I write up a blog post. I send an all-employee email, which I'm called the VP of Glee by some at Mitel, because it's like, yay, Enterprise Connect was awesome, everything is awesome. And then I go into the customer success, then I have some tweets, and I encourage people to tweet. So I had started that, and people were like, whoa, we're alive, our company's alive, what's going on? So the second thing I did was hashtag Team Mitel. And for that, what I did was I found out there were only maybe 24 people in Twitter. To give some perspective, 3,500 employees. And we had maybe 24 in Twitter. So what happened around this time was Joe Rowley was hired by Mitel to come in and kind of get us infused with some social selling. She did some great trainings. And I started picking a daily winner of a $100 gift card. So I started getting this small community, grassroots community of people who wanted to make a difference. So then along the same time, we had advocacy marketing, and Blue had come to us and say, hey, you want to do a demo? Because I've been referencing for 9 years. I know everybody. They're like, if we can get Liz in, we'll get some other people in. So what they decided to do, I decided to do a pilot. Figured it wouldn't hurt. And then as I was doing the pilot, I had an aha moment. That aha moment was, what about employees? Why don't I start with employees first, try everything out, get it going and see what happens. If you're not familiar with the power of employee engagement, just go do research. There's 3 key benefits. First, grow your revenue. The Hay Group estimates a company with engaged employees grows 2.5 times more than companies with less engaged employees. And you've all been there. You've been at places where it's positive and places where it's negative. Second thing is happier employees. That just comes, you make more money, you get bonuses, you're all happy, things are going better. What do happier employees do? They provide great customer service. And when you provide great customer service, you have happier customers. And what do happier customers do? Show me the money. They pay more money, and then it's just a cycle that goes back and forth. So we started doing some testing, and the hashtag Team Mitel people were the first one that were brought in the pilot. And then I had these secret missions. I just have so much fun with this, it should be illegal, seriously. But I had some challenges where I said, secret mission, go get a coworker to sign up. Give me their name. If they sign up, then you get points. I grew from, I started with about 40, 50 people. We now have 1,300, almost 1,400 employees in it. And a lot of it was because of these secret missions. But then around the same time, we had a new brand that we wanted to roll out. Remember the same logo? And it was not pretty. We needed a new logo. We needed a new brand. So we were going to do a multi-million-dollar campaign October 1st. And our CMO, who was the biggest advocate I've ever had in my career, you all need one of those if you haven't had one, what he decided was to leverage the Mitel Champions Hub. And that's what it's called, Mitel Champions. And so we went to Dallas. You heard Kaizen mentioned earlier. Was it Howard or somebody else mentioned it? You mentioned it, Kay. Or somebody might know, right? So Kaizen, you get together in a room, you work 16, 18 hours a day, you strategize and you plan how to solve a problem. And our problem was we had a multi-million-dollar ad campaign in Wall Street Journal, digital properties, other things. And so we had to make sure it was good, right? We had to make sure that this investment, the company had never done a campaign like this ever until Martin came along, because he's just genius. Almost walks on water, that's how good he is. Okay, so we had this campaign, so a couple months before we started putting in challenges. There was a weekly email, we had quizzes. So we'd take the key points from the weekly emails and we'd say, what is the top operating principle, blah, 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 and then we gave points for that. So we started preparing for the launch. People could watch videos. People could attend webinars. People could do some of the Joe Rowley stuff to get ready for this launch. And just to give you an example of how much of an impact this could have, I'm sitting in a Kaizen, I think it was day 3, and somebody says, what should we do October 1st? What should we do on the first day of the brand launch? And I was like, hello, we got these champions here. So I put in a challenge that night about 4:30 or 5. By the next morning when we woke up, we had 554 suggestions what we could do for day 1. Now part of that is we have a lot of European advocates that are so passionate about this. They're just crazy. You heard somebody say Spain earlier, right? Yeah, so you just have a lot of European passionate people. 554 ideas. Is that a little bit more powerful than what we did in a room when we were tired and lots of coffee and soda? So it was very, very powerful. So we led up to about 6 weeks before we started doing all these challenges. We made a special badge. If somebody did so many branding challenges, then they got to have the brand, forgot exactly what we called it, but they got a special branding badge. And then the day of, we had over 24 hours you could tweet your party that you were part of the launch. Then we had continued videos. It wasn't just before, it wasn't just the day of the launch. It was continued reinforcement of this key messaging. It was, we changed our email, we had underscore before, changed it to dot. So one of the branding challenges was change your email. One of them was go get your email signature. go get a new one and put it on there. And we had a secret mission, see if your neighbors changed their email yet. I got in trouble with some German work councils on a few of these, but yeah, and secret mission's not so cool in Germany. You can imagine. We have some good war stories. If you want to come up to me on a break or tonight, I'll tell you. But so we had a lot of really good branding challenges that reinforce key messages. Go to the intranet. We hadn't really had a good interweb before. So we're like, go to the intranet, here's the branding site, here's where you get the logo, here's where you get the updated PowerPoint, here's where you get the directions on how you should use this in your messaging. Along the way, so we did the employees, we also invited partners. I have over 550 North American partners. They're in my hub. It's just like they're part of my team. A lot of the same read and shares or different challenges we have, we do to them. And then we just barely, because these employees are keeping us so busy, we just started inviting customers in December, and we have like 160 customers in it. But it's kind of going a little slower because I've had to hire a junior admin. Katrina, wave your hand. She's the one that really knows what's going on. I just throw things at her. No, just kidding. So anyway, it's been a pretty interesting journey. I have loved it. I thought I was passionate about referencing before. This is at a whole new level because it taps into the psychology love that I have. I'm actually thinking I should go back and get a degree, a master's in psychology or something, because this is really exciting. It also helps if you have a really good customer success coach like Eli, who's amazing. So anyway, I don't know how much time I have left, but do we have any questions? Yes?
I'm interested in how you list
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's okay. I can touch on it quickly. Like, we had a road show, so we invited them to the road show. We give them key messages that they can use. We point them to when there's webinars coming up. We point them, so just kind of to educate them. And we actually have this chart that we made that said for employees, these are our goals, right? Engagement, blah, blah, blah. For partners, it's educational and informational. So they kind of know what's going on. We haven't done a media yet because there's so many different countries, so many different laws, and we are so damn busy still right now. With almost 1,900, almost 2,000. I don't know how some of you are mentioning big hubs, and I'm just like, are you sleeping? Because I'm not sleeping. This is too exciting. Can't handle it. Okay, what other kind of questions do you guys have? Yes?
what other tools are your employees supposed to be using to do their day-to-day work, and how does that fit in the ecosystem?
It really varies. So we have 3,500 employees, so it totally would vary what kind of.
But is there is there an internet platform?
Not a very good one. They do a Google one.
Okay.
So we, like I said, 41 years old.
Yeah.
Some people don't even know how to click on hyperlinks in my emails. So very, very legacy, and I'm not kidding. You think I'm kidding? No, it's very legacy. It's Canadian. It's a little cold up there or something. I don't know. So that was my slide. I'm going to see how many people I can offend by the end of this. Yeah. Brain freeze. 2 points for now. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? No? How am I doing on time?
Can you not see the clock?
Oh, it's the little red one. Now I can see the clock. Thank you. I think that's pretty much it. I just had one thing I wanted to go over. Does anybody see me carry this box up?
Yes.
Anybody want to know what's in the box?
Yeah.
It's your employees. And if you unleash them, then maybe next year you'll be up here sharing your story. So, thank you very much. Thank you.